Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ready to Emerge Detour Essentials Live. We're in season 2, and we have another amazing guest waiting in the green room, ready to greet us and share her journey and experience as we go into another emerging conversation. Ladies, what's up?
Hi, Nai.
Hi.
Hi, Rashi.
Rochelle, why are you acting like this?
She excited.
I know she's excited.
I'm really excited about tonight too.
I know. We've been hearing it all day, Rush. We know.
So for those of you joining us for the first time, we are the Emerge Trio. We're here live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., streaming from our YouTube channel at Ready to Emerge, as well as on our Facebook group. And we have amazing emerging conversations with individuals, groups of people, to share very dynamic stories about their journeys. And of course, one thing we always do with Emerge is we want to make sure that you get real actionable takeaways that you can possibly be inspired or apply to your own life. So as I mentioned before, we have a super special guest backstage. But before we get into introducing her, we will get into our introductions. My name is Naomi Garrick, also known as PR Chick, and I'm a personal branding coach. I'm also the founder of Garrick Communications, and I really help individuals to get clarity on who they are, understand their unique value, and of course, how to communicate that to their ideal audience in order to stand out in a noisy world. Over to you guys.
Amazing. I'm gonna just go after Naomi and just done. So I just like to introduce myself as Naomi's friend. So I think that alone, after that introduction, gives me some kudos. So my name is Rochelle Cameron. I'm an attorney at law. I'm also CEO and founder of Pressure Consulting Services Limited, a boutique consulting firm that provides impactful legal, people, and communication strategies to businesses of all sizes. And I find I have really nice teeth, guys.
You see how I was preparing, and then you just totally threw me off.
You have beautiful teeth, Rochelle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Goodall, and I am a connector of brand, businesses, and people. I am a co-founder and director for KYC Caribbean Limited, which is a marketing consultancy, and also co-founder for Redefine, and I'm part of the Emerge Trio. So before we bring our guest on, we want to take the time to remember our national heroes. We celebrated Heroes Day on Monday in Jamaica. And so we want to, just acknowledge them for their heroism. And we want to just remind everybody that we have to do our part in continuing to make Jamaica a much better place to live. So, we just wanted to acknowledge them.
And just to add to our heroes, we also want to recognize all our frontline heroes who have been fighting the COVID battle, or doctors, or very, very hardworking nurses, or police officers, people even in our fast food restaurants that we are worried about curfew and they have to also get home. So sometimes we forget that there are persons who are sacrificing family time and also their own health for our well-being. And we just want to say a huge thank you for all that you do. You are our heroes.
Yes, absolutely.
I think before we even get into, because Rochelle has to do the star introduction because she's the best at those things. We just wanted to welcome everybody who's joining for the first time. Lansdale, we missed you last week. I don't know what happened, but I know that you caught up with the episode. Hi, Jilly. Althea is in New York. She loves my hat. And as usual, guys, we'd love to know where you are streaming from, where are you watching from, so you can just take a minute and just drop in the comments if you're in Kingston, if you're in Jamaica, if you're in New York, like Althea, where are you joining us from tonight? We know the Florida crew is here. Right, Kathy?
Yeah.
Kathy, show them what my sister from Florida sent for me.
For
we get
us.
pocket
For us.
Oh, it's
And
for
tell us
us.
what that is, Catherine.
They are Oreo brownies. Brookies.
Woo! So what time? What time? I must, because curfew is not till 9, you know. So
They have emerged until that time.
Okay, fine. So tomorrow morning then.
Oh, Lorianne is in Canada, in Toronto. Welcome,
Hi, Lorianne. Awesome.
Okay. Over to you,
Rochelle.
Oh no, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Super excited. So I was telling them earlier that my mother, the one and only Marcia, was pleased to call me today to tell me you better do a good job because my girl, Yendi is on. So she is like Beyonce. She technically is one name. She's like a Yendi. So she's a noun, she's a verb, she's an adjective. She's also like a 5'10", amazingly beautiful woman. Miss Jamaica, she's Miss World, Miss Jamaica, Miss Universe. She and I would have entered the same time, but when I looked at her, I was like, Yendi, you gone through with this. And she did so amazingly well. Congrats. But she never stopped there, you know, because like she's walking, talking, amazing. Digital Rising Stars, Smile Jamaica, host of her own program, mother, professional dancer. She used to have this thing that I used to follow. She used to post it like on a Friday. I wasn't so good at it, but I still tried. This woman is loved by Jamaicans, by people from all over the world. And tonight we get to share in her warmth, in her beauty, and we'll also hear her courageous movements and success story. And tonight we get to just celebrate our known verb and adjective, the one and only Yendi!
You see why she had to do the intro?
Rochelle, please. Everywhere I go in life after this, and that needs to be the introduction everywhere. Oh my gosh. Hi, ladies.
Rochelle, I feel like you could start charging like to do people's intros.
Yes.
Like a dub plate, but it's a rushy plate.
I like that. I like it.
That's a brilliant idea.
So
yes, Alana, that's exactly right. She is Miss Multi-Potentialite.
Hi, Alana.
So over to you, Nai. I think you get to start us off.
Okay, well, it was actually you, but that's fine. I will start it off. So as Alana clearly just put, I mean, that's actually the first thing I was going to mention about Miss Multi-Potentialite herself. You have so many passions, and I think one of the things that we all love about you is that you explore them all. So I mean, we're going to go into details about all the things, but I mean, as Rochelle mentioned in the intro, you know, you are Miss Jamaica Universe, you are Miss Jamaica World, you have Odyssey by Yendi, you now have Odyssey with Yendi, you make candles, you make shirts. Catherine have on hers too, right? So you are an amazing dancer. I never made it to one of your those dance classes that you did because my hand-foot-eye coordination is a little bit off. So it just wouldn't work for me. But I know my best friend Tony had done one and she loved it. So yes, exactly. So you do so many things. Like, how do you? And you seem to be very passionate about each thing that you participate in or that you put your hand in. How do you do that?
Oh my gosh, that is such a big question. I think I really try to stay true to what makes me excited. I feel like if it doesn't excite you and spark a fire in you, then why are you doing it? I mean, I came to the realization that life was really fragile and really short, really early. And so losing my mom at 16, I think changed my perspective and how I viewed life from a very early stage. And initially, my drive was I want to make my mom proud. I don't want to disappoint my mom. And then that slowly turned into, no, but I have a lot to do in a really short time because life really is short. And I stopped and I was like, okay, what do I want to do? What really excites me? And I remember sitting down in the airport on my way home from when I completed my master's. And it was like, okay, let's put pen to paper. What will the next 5 years look like? What will the next 10 years look like? And my goal was to check off everything on that list because I knew I wrote that list from a place of, this would make me really happy or really excited. It was like not what my father wanted, not what my mom wanted, not what people would be appreciative of or respectful of, because my master's was actually because I thought it would make people respect me. No, let me backtrack a bit. I knew I wanted to do Miss Jamaica. I always knew I wanted to do it. I knew I also wanted to model. What I did not want people to think is that I was just relying on the laurels of my image and that I had no substance to me. So my thing was, if I have a bag of letters behind my name, then it will change the view that people have of me when I enter the room. And so I say that to say, so even doing my BFA was me, that was my passion because that was dance. My master's was just to prove a point that I wasn't done. And that's the truth. So when I made that list upon completing my master's, I was like, no, this list is about what I want to do and not what I think people expect or would appreciate or acknowledge. Yeah.
And that's super important, Yendi, because, you know, you mentioned the fact that you didn't do it for your father or anybody else. At this point, it's the things that you really, really want to do and the things that really set your soul on fire that you want to explore. And it may be a burning fire, it may be a little fizzle, but at least you get to explore them.
Yes.
And it's important just to remember that, you know, we all have literally one life that we're aware of.
That's right.
And we just have to try and make the most of it, right? Whatever it is that we're doing.
And I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make is, unfortunately, it's really easy to fall into the cycle of pleasing society. And when you do everything to please society and the people around you, you kind of just living, you know, alive. And my thing was, I wanted to be alive while I was living. And so I was going to do everything that excited my soul while I was here.
You wanted fulfillment.
Yes. You know what? It was so.
So then the next question is, because, I mean, we all have passions, but you have passions. I saw Aisha in the comments talking about all the other things: makeup artist, chef, photographer, stylist, like all the things. How do you juggle doing all the things that you want to do?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. You know, the truth is, there are good days at juggling it and there are bad days. There are days when my cup just runneth over, and there are days where I need stillness because the stillness allows me to recharge. I need stillness because it allows me to focus and channel my energy in a very decisive way. I think, you know, albeit I think it's great to have so many interests, one of the things I've had to learn to do is channel my energy on a particular interest in a particular season. And so I had to learn that this season is for this and the next season will be for that, because otherwise everything kind of gets 50% or 75%, and it doesn't reflect the true potential of what it could be if it's not given 100. So I had to understand a big part of juggling is balancing what gets optimal attention during what season.
Yeah. And I think, you know, that's important for people to remember that, you know, everything doesn't have to happen perfectly one time. It takes time.
It's not going to either.
Exactly. And there, as you said, there is a time to be still as well.
Absolutely.
And I think during this time here,
5 times in 1 hour, and then you're like, I'm trying to be still.
So Yendi, I think most people would have had their first experience with you when you entered Miss Jamaica World, right? And it's funny because a lot of, I would say we've had a lot of beauty queens, but we only remember a few. And you are definitely one that everybody remembers. Catherine made a comment to me over the weekend on the beach that this is a man that does portraits out there. I think he's a little not so okay, but he surely told her, like, you wouldn't believe who was on the beach a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Yendi, like Miss World, like Miss Jamaica, right? So it just shows you that, you know, you are so memorable. And I think, as I said, you know, Miss Jamaica World gave us our first introduction to Yendi, unless you went to Andrews, and then you would have really experienced her there too. Right, Rush?
Okay.
Life more abundant.
Life more abundant. You know, our Andrews girls, beauty queens always do very well, I must say. Sorry for that sidebar, but it's true. But then I think your personality really had a lot to do with that. And then, of course, after the pageants, there's, you know, Rising Stars, and then there is Smile Jamaica. So Jamaica really got to embrace you as our own. Somebody I heard recently referred to you as Jamaica's darling.
Oh, no way.
Yes. An older person. And I was just like, you know, that's true. Because no matter where you go, that's what you do think of that when people think of you. But what I wanted to know is, since that's where our journey with you started, how do you think the pageants really impacted your life?
I would say that had major impact, and it's one of the things that I've been unpacking quite a bit in, I would say, the last couple of years of my life.
Yes.
This is a really good question. So here's the thing. It's not that you constantly need validation, but there is something to be said for being affirmed, right? You want to be affirmed. And it is really hard to compete and put yourself on a platform that is so subjective, and not to take that on as a response to who you are, or as a direct reflection of you, you know, or a direct response to you. So I say that to say, what I've been unpacking in the last couple of years is, Usain Bolt trains. He goes to training every day. He goes to the gym. He does 5,400 meters. Then he mash up on the track, and he's hurling, and he's weak, and he's like, no pain, no gain, and he's all mental, and he works, and he puts in the effort. When he wins, he knows he has won on his merit. He's worked and he has won.
Yes.
In my industry in general, where it would have started in the form of pageantry, I train, I put in the work, I go gym, I don't drink juice for 6 months, so my skin can clean and pretty and shine. I eat sardine till I cried it. I mean, I walk up and down in my hallway with my sheet back on me, and I twirl and I spin, and then I go up on the stage and I give my best twirl and I spin. I get the highest score in swimwear, you get the second highest score in evening gown, you answer your question and you're like, yes, I feel good, this feels great, I've represented myself well, I'm putting all my effort. But because it's subjective, you don't cross the finish line first. That I had to digest and say, okay, but Yendi, this is not a reflection of you. It's the same way in the modeling industry. You go to 15 castings and you probably get casted 3 out of the 15 times.
If any.
No, I mean, my first month when I was living in South Africa, I didn't book one job. A ball. But then the last 5 months, I was praying for a day off because I worked 5 days a week. I was flying, shooting 9-page spreads, flying back, shooting something else. So again, I understood my industry was subjective, but what I had to do was unpack how much of that I have internalized as where I place my self-worth, and
Yes.
how I understand what I bring to the table, and it still has immense value regardless of what my subjective industry has suggested, which started with pageantry.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful.
That's
I was just going to say, Yendi, that I would have also been an international model and Miss Jamaica too. And now that you've gone through and explained that, it's a good thing that I decided to just let you deal with it. Just let you deal with
Yeah.
it. And I think, it's an important thing that you have pointed about tonight, because I know we have some young women that are watching this show, and it's always easy for us to look and say, Yendi skin look good this time, or yo, Yendi need to go and work out, because we sometimes forget that we are dealing with a human being, that you have feelings, and you have had to go through the process of, as you say, unpacking this, a very subjective life. And being Jamaica's darling ain't easy.
Don't make the mistake and think that you don't have to speak to your uterus in a society like Jamaica.
Yay! Yep.
But also, Rochelle, I'd just like to say thank you for not stepping into that space, because you would have eaten all of the food that I get eaten in my life. Thank you that you stepped to one side, so I could have stepped in. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
okay. So on that note, Rochelle, I cannot. What kind of pressure is it like to maintain this image then of perfection, right? Because you are a beautiful woman, but as you mentioned, right, do you still feel that you can't have any dimples in your thighs, and you must always look perfect and not disheveled at any time? Like, how do you still feel any kind of pressure to be Yendi?
I don't know. I did before. I definitely did before. To be honest with you, as I'd shared with you before when we were chit-chatting, the only reason I've on a full baked face for the gods tonight is because I was trying to stay awake, because this is past my bedtime. So I'm trying so I wouldn't like be fast asleep away with the fairies. But I don't. If you browse through my Instagram, you will see that 9 times out of 10 I don't have on any makeup. I've also come to accept that I have hips that are larger than my industry wants to applaud. And guess what? I'm okay with that. I also have thighs. I mean, when I did Miss Jamaica World, there was a set of people who were saying, she has a lot of potential. I can see where she could go. And then you had a whole set of people that were just like, where she going to go with them thunder thighs? Because I came home with college weight, right? And for a very long time, I had a complex about my thighs, because I was just like, oh, my thighs are a problem. And then I was like, you know what? Thick thighs save lives. So I'd much rather be remembered for saving lives than, So it's been a lot of adjusting, to be honest, because unfortunately it's a very superficial industry. But to how you started framing this question, I honestly feel like a part of what has resonated and connected with people is I've really tried to always be my authentic self. I've tried my very best not to be jaded by the highs and lows that come with the industry. I've tried my very best not to, I've always felt like if I even thought for a second to think I was too important, my mother would, from her aerial view, do something about it and humble me real fast. And it's not been lost on me for a second that everything that has transpired has been a blessing. It's not me. It's a blessing. And I make sure that even if I I might respond in a way that I may not typically respond, or feel a certain feeling before I even say anything, or if I emote, I stop and I say, hold on.
Yeah.
That's not ego, right? Just make sure that's not ego, because ego needs to have no play here, because this is not about me. You know, I really feel like God has used me to do a lot, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I listen to my spirit. I'm grateful that I trust my gut, which I believe is God guiding me. And my biggest thing is I've tried my best not to make this thing about me. So, so what if I have a pimple? It's my hormones. So what if my thighs are a little ripply? Girl, I'm a woman, a grown woman. You know what I mean? And this is just what happens with our changes. And we need to be more accepting of who we are and less into what the filtered image puts out there. Yeah.
So then I would ask you, how would you define beauty? What's beauty to you?
I think beauty is your spirit, man. I honestly feel like it's your spirit. I feel like people connect on a spirit level more than anything. And when people are pulled, when people are drawn, when you had an interaction and you can't stop thinking about that person, or you've never forgot that face, or you don't forget the conversation you had, it's a spirit level. And I think that surpasses every other human attribute. The flesh is but mere flesh. Spirit is where we need to operate. And I think once everyone operates on the frequency of functioning highly on a spiritual level, we're good. We're good to go. The issues that we have that are so of the flesh become null and void, you know? Yeah. And I know it sounds so cliche, like I want world peace, but I really feel like beauty is a spirit thing. Is on a spirit level.
Yeah. So when we
want world peace.
when we were behind the scenes earlier, Catherine made a comment about your lovely hair, right? So I remember when you did your big chop.
Yes.
Right? Because it actually inspired my cousin that she lives in Florida now, to do the same. And she had similar hair to you. So her hair was really long. Oh, wow. You know, she'd always straighten it. You cut off all of your hair. And I remember she came to Jamaica for Carnival, and I showed her the pictures of your big chop. And then I took her to my hairdresser and she cut off everything. Yeah. How did that feel, and what was that process like? Hair is such a conversation starter more now than ever, right? Yeah. For Jamaica and across the world. And you did that a long time ago, right? Yeah. And you clearly embraced your beautiful curls and coils. What was that hair journey like for you, Yendi?
That was 2011. So yeah, it's been a minute. You know what? For me personally, it was one of the most liberating things I've done for myself. And it wasn't so much for me at the time. My mindset wasn't about being Afrocentric, or it wasn't that at all. My thing was I was sick of just processing myself to not look like what I'm born to look like. That was my thing. I'm like, but this is not how my hair grows out of my scalp. That was my process. Now, if you want to relax your hair, that's great. For me, my thing was this? But this wasn't even really my choice. So my mom actually relaxed my hair at 11 because she had a really hard time managing my hair, because at the time the products didn't exist for black girl curly hair. It just didn't, right? And she had a really hard time managing my hair, and she wasn't well. And because she had a neuropathy, and so the use of her hands and combing my hair was really a challenge for her. It was a chore. And her thing was, okay, you're about to start high school. So she did it in August before I started high school. So I was 10, turning 11 in September. And she was just like, okay, you're going to have to comb your own hair in the morning. So I'm going to make it easier for you as well, right? And so I didn't actually know my hair. I never knew my hair. And my thing was, what is my hair? Like, what? I know I have very full lips. I know I have full hips, and I know that I know my heritage and my mix, but what is my hair? And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna find out what my hair is. And
That
so
sounded like a children's book, Yendi.
yeah.
Everything you just said a while ago. You have to watch the replay.
Now the opportunity, girl.
No here.
But yeah, and it was absolutely
You know,
liberating.
Naisha always get these brainstorms.
I know, I can't help it.
Now I'm going to wake up at 4 o'clock and write 3 books. That's how I operate.
Oh, don't know where Catherine just went. Continue,
But yeah,
Yendi.
it was that was I think for me that was a game changer in my womanhood journey. For me it was.
And what was the reaction to your cutting your hair?
Oh, it was very mixed. There was a lot of excitement because I was reigning, right? So as a reigning queen, how can you go and chop off your hair? And I remember it was a few months, no, not even a few months, it was a few weeks rather, before I had to go to Japan. So at the time, I was the face of Blue Mountain Coffee in Japan. And the Japanese culture loves long, straight hair. And I already signed the contract with my hair. And then I chopped my hair and I said nothing to my management, nothing to anyone. And they were like, why would you do that before you have to go to Japan? And I don't think they're going to receive it well. And I was like, well, they either receive me as I am or they don't have me at all, because this is who I am. I tell you, it was literally the start of my liberation as a woman, honestly. Because now I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry, but no. Then I was like, no, but this is my hair, so this is what we're doing, you know. And how do we navigate it? No, I'm not putting in a weave, so how we navigate it? I mean, even though I have in a whole ponytail tonight.
That wasn't the Jamaican black castor oil?
That's right. A little in the palm, rub it in the scalp, and then use the excess and come down the hair. You understand?
Right, overnight. Get the ponytail overnight.
I love it. So what happened when you got to Japan?
They were fine. They were completely fine. And the line was still wrapped around the building for me to hand them coffee and sign autographs. They were completely fine. But for them, I think it was almost just like, oh my gosh, she doesn't look like us. In all Asian cultures, I always get this type of
What are you? What are you?
Everybody with braids. Oh, it's over. I actually have pictures of people holding and lifting up my braids in Asian countries where I'm walking and then my hair pulled and I'm like, them just looking like, what is she? But it was perfectly fine. And it started, it's funny that you mentioned your cousin, but I have countless messages, countless comments on socials from young women who are just like, you know what, thank you for this. Because if you can do it, then I can do it. So thank you.
Similar.
Yeah, I never really had the products. Okay, Ross. Okay, Ross. I think I might do another big chop. But I say you must make serious decisions during COVID-19, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I almost did mine again too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Catherine has been talking about this, but we're like, no.
Yes.
So you realize that not only did you liberate yourself, but you clearly liberated a lot of others along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what it is? For me, they liberated themselves, but sometimes we all just need to say something or a little signal or a little sign or a little indicator that, you know what, this has been in my subconscious, but this has gone to my frontal brain and now I can act upon it, because it almost feels like a confirmation or a validation or a sign that, say we can do this too. Yeah, man, thank you. You give me the strength. Big up you. So
Yeah.
for me, they liberated themselves, and I have no problem being that thing that transitions the thought process from
Yeah.
just the frontal.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So when you were speaking a while ago and you spoke about going to Japan and how when you go to Asian countries and they're touching the braids, we know that you're a travel tete.
I am.
When did this love for travel just emerge?
True story. True story, I growing up, so my mom was a nurse in a public hospital. My father did not. My father got his first degree when he was in his 40s. He sat down and did homework with us at the dining table. So my father is a brilliant man, one of the most brilliant people I know. But he is a man of the world. Him read, him study, him answer every question in Jeopardy. He's one of those. But he didn't pursue academia, right? Because they're from both my parents are born in the 40s. Things were very different. You finish high school, you get a job, and then you move up in that job, And so I come from very humble beginnings. My parents didn't have a lot, but we didn't lack anything. But one of the things that stood out to me was every time we had to go back to school in September, and you always have to write that essay. My summer holiday, always have to write that essay.
Yes.
And my classmates gone Disney World, them gone Miami, them gone New York, and my summer holiday was always, well, my time in St. Mary.
Me too, Lucky Hill. Every summer.
At
Vacation Bible School.
Every summer. And then Easter, every Easter was my Easter in Clarendon. And it bugged me. It honestly bugged me that I never had Lisa Frank stickers and a Trapper Keeper and a Jan Sport bag. And I was just like, these people can talk about foreign and I ain't going to know foreign. And I was just like, I actually said it to my mom. When I said to my mom, when I'm older, I'm going to travel and I'm going to see all of these places and I'm going to buy all the Lisa Frank stickers. And my mother was just like, well, Lisa Frank probably will be around by then. Yeah, true. And then I used to go to the School of Dance, and there is a conference every few years called Odyssey, Dance and the Child International. And the Odyssey conference was in Finland, girl. And so I don't travel, then I go travel. I not go travel, go Florida. I travel, go Finland. So I fly, go Finland. I frostbite, eat up my mouth. I mash up. I wake up, I'm homesick. I call my mother, not even remembering time difference, and I crying and I want to go home and I miss you. And she said, well, you wanted to go to foreign. You're in foreign.
Really sorry.
And I came home from the trip, albeit I cried while I was there. I came home from the trip, and again, no, this time I said to her, when I grow up, I'm going to go to every single country in the world. I'm going to set foot in every country. And her only response was, make sure you have a job that pays you well so that you can do it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yendi, you know what? What's funny when you said that, about the stories where you went for summer, I always wished that I had grandparents that lived in the country. I would have loved to have spent a summer in Clarendon or in St. Mary because I hear that all the time.
Let me come a little closer. Help you out with here.
But she can carry the
Lucky Hill, St. Mary.
But she can carry the
Christmas, summer, midterm. So when I hear you talk about, I wish I didn't have to go to Florida or to LA. I am like, we're going Lucky Hill then.
Trust me.
First of all, I wasn't even saying that I went anywhere, but I was saying that I did not have my immediate family is very, very small, right? Mommy, daddy, Christopher, Nestor. Grandparents live in Kingston. The other grandmother lives in Canada. That's it. So, and one uncle and a cousin. So I have one first cousin and one uncle, no aunts. So we didn't have any relatives in the country.
Yeah.
And then when I hear experiences, even with my friends' kids, and they're going to their grandparents and picking mango and doing all kind of things, I would have liked that. I'm just saying.
What Gabby said.
Gabby!
All the people are like, oh, that is very nice.
Right.
When I went back to, like, you go back to Campion after your summer holidays, and did their pool and go on a Moorlands camp.
I've never been to Moorlands in my life.
Camp.
Everything came from that school.
Best camp ever.
Best camp.
I've never been to Moorlands, but I can tell you this. I know how to find the egg them in the cup. I know how to grind a sham. I know how to milk cow. I mean, to be honest with you, I hardly eat eggs now because I'm a climb an egg. The way me climb back.
So, Yendi, a lot of us, especially the people that follow you, have been able to be exposed to your spiritual journey, right? A lot of it. And so, of course, I had to wear my Odyssey by Yendi today, and I have my Odyssey by Yendi cup. So tell us how and why Odyssey by Yendi.
It was purely an act of obedience, complete obedience. And the word says obedience is greater than sacrifice. And I genuinely feel that I have been rewarded for my obedience every step of the way. It's funny because it's not as recent a journey as many people think, because if you think back to Miss Universe, a lot of people in Jamaica were cussing me home. I go on the Miss Universe stage in America, got talk about God.
Oh, God.
So it actually is not that recent of a journey for me. I was raised in a Christian home. My parents were practicing Catholics. I personally don't practice or subscribe to Catholicism. No. Once I was of age to make a decision for myself. But in this industry that I am in, it is very fickle. Very, very fickle. And if you're not mind sharp, you will lose your way. And I say that to say that when people look on to public figures with a lot of criticism and ridicule, I do the opposite. I look on thinking that's a coping mechanism. That is to make the madness go away. So when people turn to alcohol and drugs and they abuse these things, I don't equate that to I just saw them people are going with them bus. Right. It is literally a coping mechanism because it is hard to live in a fishbowl. It is absolutely hard, where every single thing you do is criticized. Don't make the mistake and put too loud because it's going to be on the cover of the paper for 9 days. You understand? It's a problem. And I grew even closer to my maker because I realized that I knew that what I was doing was a calling that was placed on my life. And my prayer was, Lord, I know I'm doing this because you put these passions in me, but I'm not emotionally equipped to manage this. So I need you to help me to do this thing and need you to balance me out and build me up where I need to for me to live out this purpose that you have set out for me. And that literally drew me closer to God because I realized that my grounding has to be so firmly planted that literally when anything comes up, I have the wisdom that Proverbs tells me that I need. I have I know how to fight my battle with the word. I know how to remove my flesh from the circumstance and garner discernment to understand how to tackle the thing ahead of me, because were it for the flesh, there'll be many a circumstance or an outcome that I probably would be proud of today. And that's the truth. I privately had my walk, and then God told me audibly, it's time for you to step out and use your platform. You've built this platform and it's time for you to use it. And my prayer was, show me how to use it. And he said to me, it's going to be your journey. It is through your journey. And that morning when I went to church, there was a guest pastor and he was preaching. And in the middle of preaching, he mentioned about the Odyssey. And literally when he said it, I felt my gut. I literally just felt this feeling swell in me. And I gasped for air and I was like, oh my, I'm like, yo, God is my G. He was like, yo, you heard me? Now I'm going to show you. And I'm like, okay, all right, G, no problem. And I wrote it down. I came home and I journaled about it and I prayed on it. And I would get revelations in my dreams of how I would make people realize that a relationship with God is so much more important than religion, is what a part of what he wanted me to do. And also make people realize that having a relationship with him was actually really cool. So in the form of the apparel, in the form of knowing the word, in the form of, because in our culture, in Jamaican society, is you wear your skirt long to your ankle, you don't shave your legs, you can't wear nail polish. I mean, I recently heard of a pastor who publicly said that women who wear nail polish are prostitutes. And so we have this mindset here in Jamaica of what a Christian should look like, act like, and be like. And God said to me, a relationship with me is much more important than what people perceive. And so my mission was to make people know it actually is really cool to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Totally long-winded, sorry.
No, it's lovely.
No. That's beautiful. So after you left us in suspense, you gave us a taste. And then you left us in suspense. And then you come back with this big news, big things are going. And we heard that Odyssey with Yendi has gone global. So I want you to tell us what was the concept behind Odyssey with Yendi, and what do you want your audience to get from Odyssey with Yendi?
It was also a part of my mission. Well, so remember I told you about writing a list in the airport on my way home in 2007?
Yes.
Item number 10 on that list was leave an indelible mark. That was item number 10. And I've always wanted to leave an indelible mark and inspire in some way, shape, or form. And for me, it's one thing to be, I will always be rooted in the word for the source of my inspiration through the ebbs and the flows, the highs and the lows. But everyone doesn't speak that language, right? So it's like the varying love languages that we have. Mm-hmm. And so my thing is that we have these people that we all, love in one way or the other. We've come to acknowledge them, whether it be musically or culturally or in whatever capacity that they're in. But they too have something to share, and they too can inspire. And a lot of the times, because people are in the public eye, people don't humanize them any longer. And my thing was, let's humanize these individuals. I want people to realize that half of the time, this thing didn't happen overnight. They too have a journey and a struggle and the highs and the lows that you have. And it might look easy, and even worse now with social media, because people mostly post the positive things, myself included. But you're not on your own. Everybody have them things too. So when Neville is going to share about, hating being a belle because of the pressure that came with being the last boy of all the already done. When Bounty Killer shares that he was shot, and he was just like, yo, bad man life is not for me. And him change him life around and go start make figurine. And that is how him get him, him little boss. When Tessan is like on the brink of complete success, and she's like, I'm about to win in life. And then she's like, wait, I thought I was winning, but now I actually feel like a complete failure and disappointment. Those are real feelings and emotions that every one of us encounter. And so I think there's a lesson to learn from everybody. And I just wanted to humanize these figures a bit and just make people realize that you're not on your own. Them have it too,
Oh, absolutely. All right. Tell us about the Yendi Phillips Foundation.
So the mission of the foundation is to advance health and wellness of the Jamaican populace. And initially, the primary focus was on cervical cancer because there is a lot of focus placed on breast cancer. And I feel not quite enough on cervical cancer, which is a very high ranking cancer in our society. And, where there's a lot of encouragement to do your mammograms, but not an equal
for pap smears.
Right. And so initially the mission was to, get your pap smears done. Early detection is important. If it is something that works for you and aligns with your preferences, vaccinate against HPV that aligns for you. But where it's another aspect of it is, so a lot of people don't know, but with Odyssey by Yendi, I tithe with the company. So similarly to how you would tithe every Sunday at church, I tithe with the company, but I tithe in the form of food. So we actually go into communities and provide not cooked meals, but dry food, so canned food, rice, sugar, bread, for families. And we've been doing this since the company started. That's also one of the things that God placed on my heart. So we've been doing it quietly, but I also want to, for every person that has ever purchased any item of Odyssey by Yendi, you too have played a part in providing a meal to a family or providing food to a family. So it mattered to me to say it just now, just to say thank you. So,
well, on that note, where can people purchase Odyssey by Yendi?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let me just tell you here now. So, if you would like to purchase your Odyssey by Yendi products, you can visit www.odysseybyyendi.com. There is where you purchase your products if you're overseas outside of Jamaica. That does not include Ocherius for those who have visas for there. However, if you are in Jamaica land we love, you can go to the Instagram page, which is Odyssey by Yendi, and send a direct message there to purchase your shirts, mugs, candles, journals. Thank you very much.
Candles. I agree with Thea. The candles are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
I don't even know what is my favorite because they all are so good now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh,
yes, Thea said they are a must. I agree. I have a few.
Even when they're not burning. So I have some over in the nest now, and I can't say the last time I've lit them, but once you walk in there,
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. And they're soy, they're handmade, they're poured by yours truly right here on the dining table at which I sit.
Yendi, as you mentioned, where your products can be found, and you talked about the company, how you tithe, your company tithes. And I just want you to talk a little bit about being a businesswoman, because you mentioned earlier that your mother says you need to have the job to pay for the travel. And I think sometimes people don't correlate that you are actually a businesswoman. Yeah. What is that like? What has that business journey been for you?
I can't stand it. No, I'm not even joking. So I am very right brain active. So I'm a creative through and through. I mean, I tell you for free, the organization skills that happen on the left brain, it's an area that I'm working on. I'm being careful of my word sound power here. I'm working with it. I know I just failed miserably. So to be honest, it's actually a step out of my comfort zone. Being an entrepreneur, I've completely stepped out of my comfort zone, but I've learned so much about myself, and I've learned how to navigate. For example, this morning at 6 a.m., I was doing inventory in my little home office. I pulled out the products and I'm doing inventory and I'm updating my inventory list, my stock list. It's, making sure that things are happening the way they ought to be happening. And I know what I've done is I've dedicated 2 hours of each day goes toward Odyssey by Yendi, the products. 2 hours of each day goes toward Odyssey with Yendi, the TV show which has gone global and now airs in 35 countries. Thank you very much. Humble brag. And albeit this happens while my daughter is in school, and then on you have the filming days where I have a production crew who operate the cameras and lights and so on, but I go to the supermarket to make sure all the snacks are there for the crew. I order the lunch online so it can be delivered at X time for the crew. I'm setting up the set. I'm then doing my makeup. I'm fixing up my hair, getting ready for the guests. I'm literally pulled in many directions, but it's made me realize that as Mrs. Reed would say at St. Andrew, I'm not a sugar baby, right? I don't melt in the rain. And so it's really taught me that I have layers, and it's okay to tap into layers, albeit uncomfortable sometimes. And I've been really enjoying exploring the other layers. Not very good at it, but I'm working at it.
You're working at it, yeah. And you're a new sugar baby.
No sugar.
No sugar baby.
I'm gonna use that. Tell you and Miss Reed, I'm gonna use that. I like it.
Naomi, you used to hear Mrs. Reed say that?
I don't recall her saying that, but remember, Mrs. Reed wasn't my principal. I had
Mrs. Reed. Yeah.
St. Andrew's girl thing, guys.
Yeah. She used to always, once it would rain and nobody wants to come outside, or you don't want to go to school, or you're hiding under the, are you sugar babies? Are you going to melt if the rain touches you?
I love
That was just a reminder to you, Naomi, that you're not in the same age because Yendi, because you're old. That was all that was.
I'm sorry, what was it again?
You heard? I said that was just a reminder that you're old. That's all.
Oh.
Ooh. I mean, Mrs. Reed. Catherine, let's just stay out of the Andrews girls conversation. Thank you. Over to you.
I know.
If you have any information, I had Mrs. Repole for 2 years.
Thank you. But Yendi, I know this because I know when you were at my school.
I remember you when I came to your school.
Yeah, because she was an elder.
Now, please note, my friend I said me shut my mouth with me little bit of money. Me, shut my mouth. I don't need the Andrews girls business.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Rochelle.
Thanks, Nai. So, Yendi, one of the things that that we cannot help but notice is how much an influence your mother is. And every time I see you, I get this feeling that you are walking with your own angel. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the amazing lessons that you have learned from her? Because she seemed to be a nugget lady, like she just full of wisdoms.
Full of wisdom.
They taught me wisdom. And so tell us a little bit about her and the influence she has had on this person that you are.
There are a couple of stories I can tell very quickly that describe her and her lessons perfectly. The first one I will tell you is when I just started high school, I had a really hard time adjusting. And I was bullied by some girls in the upper school. And I would go home and I would cry about it, and she would give me a little pep talk, and I would go the next day and I'd come home and I'd cry about it, and she'd give me a pep talk, and I just came home and I was like, I hate this school, I hate high school. And I was just like, I want to transfer and I want to go to Immaculate, because she went to Immaculate, my mom. And she was like, what's Catherine?
One more time.
I'm not even looking at her while you're telling this very important story.
One more time.
And I said to her,
sons and I are cut from the same cloth, so I mean, that's funny.
That's right. So I said to her, I want to go to Immaculate because this didn't happen to you at Immaculate, and you have such great stories of your high school. And then literally what she said to me was, she said, okay, so you transfer, you go to Immaculate, and someone there starts teasing you, what are you going to do? Transfer again? She said, you're going to run forever, you're going to face things head on. I was 12. It's never left me. Another story I will tell you was coming to the end of fifth form. So right up until, as I did arts and sciences in school, and I was going to do medicine. I wanted to do pediatrics. I didn't really want to do pediatrics. It's just what society said was kind of expected of me, right? Lawyer, doctor, Indian chief.
Right.
Indian chief, nah. Lawyer, perhaps, because I'm really good at arguing. But I actually really love the sciences. So I did arts and sciences. And then I was kind of not my usual self. And she said to me, you know, what you're going to do when you get to sixth form. And I was like, well, I don't want to do sixth form. And she was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, to be very honest. And she was like, don't even think about my reaction. Just tell me, what do you want to do? What makes you the happiest was her question. And I said, I am happiest when I dance. And she said, okay. I went to school in the morning. I came home and the application forms for Edna Manley were on the bed.
Wow.
Her thing was, if that's what makes you happy, then you're going to be the best at doing what makes you happy. She was just like, there's nothing to prove. And I remember I was accepted to Edna Manley based on, so now I'm 15 and I've started college in the August. My CXC results have not come out, but they asked for the last 2 years of my report cards. And so they accepted me on that basis pending my CXC results. My CXC results came out, my parents drove down to Edna Manley. It was my lunch break. And I was sitting down upstairs at Edna Manley where it's open air. And I just heard a voice downstairs that said, where is my daughter? Where is my daughter? And I looked over and my mother had my results in her hand and she said, come here, girl. And bare excitement. I went home. Other family members came over and my uncle said, but if you have these grades and you have sciences, why are you not going to just do the medicine? Why would you go and dance? And my mother said, because that is what she wants to do. She didn't even get, there was room for me to debate anything. She said, that's what she wants to do. So my mother never said, well, see your grades here. So let's have a no, nothing like that. And I really appreciated that about her. So those two stories, I feel, really sum up my mom.
Yeah.
In just how she operated as a person, non-judgmental, very supportive, totally. I mean, when I say her thing was, funny enough, I didn't even think about it until this conversation now, but I didn't realize how much of my approach to it is rooted in that. What makes me happy. I didn't even remember that was a thing that she asked me at 15. It didn't even dawn on me, the correlation. And that's what I've lived by. Always, I ask myself, does this make you happy? So yeah, if there's anything to share coming from her, it would be, you can't run from your problems. You have to tackle what you need to tackle, make the path that you need to make, and do what you need to do. Obstacles are going to come, and that's rung true for my career, because many obstacles have come. Many times have felt very chaotic, but I had to be tunnel visioned about it because there was one focus. And the other thing was, ask yourself, does this make me happy? Does this feed my soul?
Wow. And you are a mother, and you said earlier that, you know, Jamaican people feel too that they can comment on your uterus, whether or not it has produced, is producing, continues to produce. What has that journey been like, being a mother and a public figure in that fishbowl, knowing all the lessons your mother has taught you, so you know what needs to be done, but you are in a fishbowl as a mother? What has that experience been like?
It was initially challenging because my pregnancy was met with the furore that it was, because yes, I was not married. Yes, I was having a child out of wedlock, which a lot of it was, people felt disappointed. They felt let down because they had a certain vision for me and what they thought I would represent. But that was not what I wanted for myself. So that's your expectation, and I can only rest that at your feet, not mine. And I didn't understand that then. So I also felt like I'd let everybody down. I honestly did. And I had to come to a point in my pregnancy where the only opinions that mattered was really my father and what I would think my mother would want. And obviously she can't tell me what she would want because she's not here to vocalize it in the flesh form. But before I told anyone I was pregnant, I've actually never shared this story. So before I told anyone, no one knew I was pregnant. Not my father, not even the father of my child, not my best friend. Nobody knew, but I knew I was. And my cousin called me and said she had a dream. And in her dream, my mom was sitting at the foot of her bed, holding a baby girl, doting on a baby girl.
Oh, wow.
That was all the validation I needed. It was all the validation I needed. And not only did that happen, but fast forward, as we were sharing off air in our little banter before we came on here, Rochelle, I told you that Israel's due date was the 29th of September. Israel ended up being born on the 21st of September. And that did not dawn on me or connect to anything until I had to fill out her paperwork. And then I said, oh, so if she didn't give me validation before with that dream, or I would now say the vision my cousin had, because I also didn't find out the sex of the baby. So when the doctor nurse said, it's a girl, I was like, it's a girl. But when I was filling out the paperwork and I realized that she was born on the 21st, because after 17 hours of labor, you don't really know what day it is. I had an aha moment, and all I could do was cry because, again, I knew that was my mom. My mom was born the 21st of July. My mom passed away on the 21st of February, and my daughter was born a week early on the 21st of September. That also felt like validation coming through from her. I don't care if nobody want to call me mad. I know in my gut that was her. And then my daughter looks just like her. Go figure. She has face, cheeks,
everything.
Right, Kathy? It is wild. It is so wild. And now she wears glasses, and her prescription is my mother's prescription. Like, my dad was totally bugging out about that. He was just like, it's wild. She sit down and cut her 10 when she read, like her mother. And then when I call her and I say, Izzy, she look over the glasses and say, yes, mommy, like her mother. I'm like, girl.
I just want to always talk over the glasses.
I'm like, your mannerisms are way too similar to someone that you've not met in the flesh. So it's amazing. So I thought all of it, I had to come to the reckoning of the outside noise did not matter. Yeah. I knew that what was happening was right for me. I knew that what was happening was ordained, albeit not happening the way that society expects or the way that religion suggests. Yes. Mm-hmm. I knew that he still was chosen. And then while I was pregnant, God told me that my child would be called Israel. Again, I didn't know it was a boy or girl. I chose gender-specific middle names, which her middle name is Naomi.
That I know.
But I never knew. So I knew no matter what, my child was an Israel. I didn't know the meaning rather. After she was born and I said her name, a pastor contacted me and said, do you know what Israel means? And I said, I have no idea. I'm just acting out of obedience because, again, obedience is greater than sacrifice. Okay. And he said, Israel means God's chosen people. And I said, well, look at that. Yeah. Again, for me, another form of validation, this time from God.
Affirmation, exactly.
Regardless of the noise and the chaos, she's chosen, and I know it in my spirit. So the motherhood journey for me has been, I just know that I have been the spirit that has been chosen to guide this little person. And for whatever reason, we have aligned because I have what she needs and she teaches me what I need to facilitate her growth. So that's how I approach motherhood.
Wow. And that you have said that amazing person.
Huh?
I said that little person is the most amazing little person. She has the most amazing spirit in a child that I've ever encountered.
Oh, thank you, Naomi.
Really special.
She's Naomi's spirit child. Like, that's Naomi's dream daughter.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's nice, bad. I mean, I love her, but I also like her a lot. Like, I really like her.
She's such a loving child.
Yeah.
She's just such a loving child.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to tell her. I'm going to be like, Izzy, you know, we were on a live and they all said you were so lovely. Oh gosh, and give a little joke. So for my birthday, I went to Stush in the Bush and she wanted to come and I was like, no, I'm going to have a girl's day where it's just, you know, so and so. Anyhow, fast forward, her birthday comes because it's 2 weeks after mine, right? So I said, I'm telling her the comments. I'm like, oh, Izzy, so and so said happy birthday. So and so said happy birthday. And I said, Izzy, the people at Stush in the Bush said happy birthday. And she goes, the people at Stush in the Bush know me? The bush. And she goes, yeah, but you said the food was the best. I'm like, you're so sweet.
Yeah, she is.
No, you have actually said that motherhood is the most challenging, yet it is the most rewarding role in your life. Tell us a little about that comment, but I also want to know, as a mother, what things about you surprise yourself? Because you know, when you're planning motherhood, you have all of these things in your head of how you're going to be. Catherine, there's no commentary from you necessary, okay? So some of us have things in our head about how we are going to be, and then we recognize some changes in ourselves, and you know, you start surprising yourself. Sometimes you're like, who is this person, and what about this role has surprised you, and just what is it like being Izzy's mommy?
Well, first of all, motherhood is without question. You know, when them say God a plan, man a plan and God a wife, motherhood. Like we start. Because when people say them late because of the baby is not a lie. Because right from everything, the ready you pack up and you go to go out the door, the baby needs to go to the bathroom. Girl.
You look so cute in your little jean shorts. Why?
But I'm not an explosive personality, but I wouldn't say I'm the most patient person. So I experience great impatience, but you probably wouldn't tell on the outside until I'm like up to here. And then I'm like, all right, what we doing? You know? The greatest aspect of development that I didn't know about I didn't just call me Jobisha over here. I had no idea I could actually have this much patience. I also don't like noise in general. I don't like noisy spaces. I did not know I could sit beside a toddler and not hear a thing. I didn't know. Didn't have a clue. I also did not know that when I said it's challenging because Israel has conversations that I didn't think would happen until she was a teenager. And so it's been very challenging because I understand her, and that giving her an answer that doesn't have any substance or meat is not going to serve her. And so she will hear me, but she doesn't accept me. And she will come back the next day and say, Mommy, she reframes the question.
I can't wait for Christian to do that.
Sorry for you, Rochelle.
The biggest stretch for me has definitely been, how do I share with her in an age-appropriate way that works for her? Because it is against what everybody perhaps thinks mothers and children should do. It is the discussion between, somewhere in between children should be seen and not heard, and children can just do what they want to do. I'm somewhere in between there. And so I have dialogue with her that people might be like, that's a little early for that conversation. But what they don't know is that she's asked me 10 times in 10 different ways. And her spirit is not settled unless she has an answer that she can digest. And so I answer her in the most age-appropriate way with the most information that she can understand. And I don't know if that is why, but she is a really old soul, like a really old soul. A gentle soul, sweet soul, but really old soul. And that's been the thing that I didn't think I would be as a mom. I am very communicative, but I didn't think I would be such an open book so early with her.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it will strengthen her. If I'm having a bad day, or if I'm overwhelmed, or if I do something I feel like is not right by her, I apologize to her and I tell her I'm wrong, and she will look. At first, she used to look at me and I used to be like, Izzy, I needed you to stop doing that, but I didn't have to speak to you in that way. And nobody should speak to you in that way. I don't want to normalize you being shouted at, because it's not okay to be shouted at. And I'm sorry. I can communicate with you without being unkind, because I don't want anybody to shout at me. Yeah. And then she'll be like, she used to say, it's okay, Mommy. And then I said to her, no, don't say it's okay, because it's not okay. Tell me you accept my apology or you forgive me, but it's not okay, because I don't care that I'm your mother. I shouldn't shout at you or be sharp with you. And now she'll be like, Mommy, yesterday when you didn't allow me to finish my sentence, I didn't like it. And I'm like,
No.
Okay, Izzy, I understand and I accept that it made you feel cut off. And would you like to now say what you need to say? So I humble myself before the child. Yeah. She's just a small human. That's how I view her. She's a small human. I don't believe in the pick-me versus adult. She's a small human and she feels what we feel. She experiences what we experience. And I want to show her as much respect that I demand.
Wow. And I think that answers Lansdale's question, because he asked, how important it is it not to just be her mother, but to be her friend? And Alicia says, how do you approach sharing memories of your amazing mother with your daughter?
Yeah. So we are friends and she knows we're friends, but she also knows that Mommy has lines and I don't cross them. So I am still a very traditional mother, but I find a way to merge the approaches. Yeah. And I've emerged a new mother as a result of the merge.
So nice.
We hang out, we play dominoes, we play cards, we go road, we go eat together, we sit down, we talk life. She watches Game Show Network with me in the evening and she's like pretending to be Steve Harvey. Like, she's my friend, my daddy. But also if I say, Israel, it's time to pack up. Yes, Mommy. She doesn't argue with me because she also knows I speak once. I don't need to repeat myself because respect goes both ways, right? So I will respect you, but you must respect me as your mother.
When you own up, I like that a while ago, Pam.
Yeah.
Watch me
now. And when it comes to sharing stories about my mom, I don't think there's anything she likes to talk about more. She loves talking about in my family, on my mother's side of the family, grandmothers are called their mom.
Yeah.
So my mom's mom was my derma. Yeah, and so she refers to her derma all the time, and she actually tells me stories about her derma from when she met her in heaven. So it's
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
she sure does.
Guys, I've been trying not to cry this whole episode.
You know, so much time I come off the screen, I can't.
That one
Yeah,
is a lot.
so I know something too only when you cry, so just try. Because I felt my face crushing a while ago, and I was like looking at my image, and I said, you're not pretty. You're not a pretty crier. Don't do it.
I have to keep coming off the screen. I'm like, this is nuts.
She knows her. She knows her. She tells me vivid stories about her. When she was 2, she told me about the way her derma laughs. And I was like, she's met her. She knows her for sure. Because that laugh, how she made that comment, you know? She knows her. So she loves to talk about her with me. But she knows her for herself. I can say that without inch of doubt.
Wow.
She knows her.
Gabby said you for a long time. Tracy messaged me and Tracy goes, "You're so predictable. I knew you were balling."
My protect time, I don't want the lash glue.
I have on extension, so here me know. Watch him out. Drop off one. Jan says, "Does this feed my soul, Selah?"
Yes.
This is such a refreshing conversation with you, Yendi. And I just have to point out some of the comments. I don't know if you're seeing them. Thea, who we love, hi Thea, says loving everything about this interview, the best.
Oh, Thea, thank you.
Yeah. Nakita actually asked a question about, because when you go talk now about the raising of children, you can now have Odyssey with Yendi and Izzy raising children.
Oh, she's too ready. She's so ready. Oh my God. She's so ready. Well, I want to tell you, say, she's been doing inventory with me. So I tell me, come let me show you how your school fee pay. Come. When we done the count, we say, right, 5 rose pink, 2 tea. That's in the column. But yeah, no, she's very, very ready. And any and every episode of the show we've shot, she's right there, not far from the frame, watching, learning. She comes, she goes in the mirror, she does her thing. I remember when she was 4, I carried her on set of a show that I did for JPS, the Power Smart Challenge.
Yes.
And when we came home, she was in the mirror and she said, "Hi, I'm Izzy, and this is a JPS Power Smart Energy Challenge today." And she named out every family that actually was in the show. She named out the family. She said what color their team was and what their challenge was. And I said, "Lord, if you're not too busy," because I say she ready a long time. Wow. But I saw a question a while ago that I would love to
the toddler.
Nakita's question, yes. How do you deal with a toddler who is attached to you and makes it hard for you to discipline him?
I'm not an expert. Let me preface it. Let me make a declaration. I'm no expert, even though I am a psychologist as per WebMD. So, Google. I'm kidding. No, I really am no expert. I can't tell you exactly what to do to discipline your toddler, but I can tell you it's one of the best gifts you can give your toddler. Because you're literally shaping them, and from 0 to 5 are their most impressionable years. And I will share one story with you just to give you a bit of something maybe as a guide. Israel was 2. It was the December of 2014. So she was 2 and 3 months. And it was time for her to pack up her things because it was time to go to school. She has her play area, and I always give her forewarning, give her time. Izzy, you have 10 minutes. It's time to start packing up because we're going to leave the house in 10 minutes. You are informed. She didn't want to pack up. 5 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go, the things were not packed up. She started crying and she said, Mommy, I don't want to pack up. And I said, okay, if you don't want to pack up, then you can't have toys. I got a garbage bag and I packed up every single toy in her play area. My approach, I'm not a specialist. In her play area, I left books and puzzles only. I carried the bag downstairs, which it was in a garbage bag. So her mind is telling her these things are gone. And I said to her, you are responsible for these things because they are yours. And if you do not take care of them the way you should, then another little child will benefit from them and will treat them how they should. I said, I'm not going to argue with you or fight with you about clearing up your toys because you knew this is your job. We went to the doctor like a week later for her shots, and her doctor asked her how she's doing, and she says, I'm okay, but I have no toys. My mommy took away my toys. And the doctor was like, Mommy, what's going on here? And she was like, oh, I think that's a bit harsh. I don't think you should. And I said, Doc, with the greatest respect, I just want to try my approach.
Yeah.
January morning came, I gave her back one toy. When she was playing with it, she had a good time. When she was finished, I said, is it time to put the toy on the shelf? What did she do? Put the toy on the shelf.
Absolutely.
The next day, I gave her one more toy. And then we got to the point where I felt like she had a sufficient amount and there was still a bag full. And I said to her, Izzy, what do you think? Do you think you have enough toys or would you like something out of the bag? You can pick 2 things out of the bag that are your favorite. She picked 2 and I said, you know what? We're going to donate the rest. We went to Salvation Army. She donated them. When I came home, I said, I think what you have is sufficient and you can manage. Any morning after that for the rest of her life until now that she's 8 or any time of day when I say, Izzy, it's time to pack up. Yes, Mommy. She packs up. That's all I will share. So it might seem like a drastic measure, but they understand repercussions. They understand consequences. You don't need to beat them down and cow them down. They also respond to the timeout corner. I'm just saying there are methods. I'm not a professional.
That was it. She needs to go to that now.
And timeout corner has now become no iPad, no tablet, no digital device corner. That's what it is now.
But Gabby, you have to follow through because I see what you said and you have to follow through because the children, then your word has no weight.
No weight.
You have to follow through and it will ring true for them for life. They must understand that your word is your bond and your word has weight. So we're not going to cry wolf as parents and I don't expect you to cry wolf as a child. So if you're going to do X, do X. So if I said to Israel, if you don't do this, I'm pulling you out of dancing for the semester. You best believe. So because she knows I don't play. I don't need to calm down, but know yourself, friend.
And Lancel actually says he has goosebumps. He says, I love every part of it though. And I'm also really happy for you that you both get to experience each other and by extension, your mom in many ways through her.
Yes. Thank you, Lancel. Me too.
Nakita says, thank you.
You're welcome, girl. Girl, I ain't no expert, girl.
Yeah. So, as you were speaking, I recently had a moment that I'm not extremely proud of with the little boy because him have a little way where because them know from early, so he keeps trying to go up the stairs. And me ball after him. Hear me now? Me say no go up there.
That's okay. That's okay.
And he didn't understand.
That's okay.
What, Rush?
Over to you for the best advice segment.
Russia, that's okay, because him have to know that St. Mary you come from. You understand?
Lucky here.
Where you come from. So his grandmother is not dear ma. Although when she hear dear ma, she'll go say, "Oh, you never tell me that one. Them I like it." She is Nana, and she heard me because she was on FaceTime, and she is like, a comment.
Don't talk to me like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's all right, man. Every now and then, them just have to know, say,
friend.
Don't people know who's frightened. You understand?
And as my mother would have said,
son, listen here, little duppy. This is not happening. This is not happening. Know yourself, son. Know yourself.
Nai, over to you for the best advice segment.
Okay, so now we're at the best advice segment where we will ask you a couple of questions to see what's the best advice that you have received or you'd like to give on particular topics. So the first one is, what is the best advice that you have received about motherhood?
I would say that it's important to guide your child to be the best version of them. It's really important not to force yourself on your child, your ways, your likes, your ideas for them. It's really important to know that you have a role as a navigator, right? You've been chosen to steer this ship. You've been chosen to navigate their journey, and that's your role. To equip yourself with the best tools to navigate them for who they are, not to change them or to make them something they're not, but to refine them and to develop in the areas that they need to develop.
Wow. Love that advice. So Yendi, I am the person that will tell you if you have like a booger on your face or food in your teeth. And I noticed one of your eyelashes.
Thanks. It's lifting up down.
It need a little clip.
Thanks.
Thank you. I wouldn't feel good with myself if we continued the whole show and it just fly off in the middle of the show.
Yeah, you know that I never even see that, right? Because things are lost on me.
Okay. Best advice you have received about.
It was a real one. I'm just saying.
I know. It's an Andrews thing, girl.
Roll my eyes one more time.
What's the best advice that you have received or you would give about love?
Oh, love. It's an action word, isn't it? I feel like it's an action word. And I would say that a big part of finding a harmony and a synergy as it relates to love is truly understanding the love language that the person around you speaks, whether it be your friend, whether it be your partner. I think it's important to understand their love language. And to, I think that's it's an action word. It's an action word. So whether it be, words of affirmation or acts of service, or they're all actions, right? The languages are actions and it requires action.
Yeah. What's your love language?
Words of affirmation and acts of service.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
I'm not service at all.
Really?
Words of affirmation and quality time.
Yeah.
Rush, I can't know your love language.
I don't need to speak to me. I can just be beside you and you can just touch my little foot while I read my book and I'm good. But when I cook for you and I see you wax off the plate, my heart feels full.
Do you know yours, Rush?
No.
I'm gonna send you the quiz.
Yes, I have the book. I've read the book and I've meant to do the quiz, but on any given day, I find that my love language, I think I have a very open love language. So I know words of affirmation,
Receives all of them.
especially for other people. And I think the only thing is I'm not, I thought touch didn't matter. Like, you know, some people are touching because that means sleeping on one bed, I squeeze up like that. But I think during COVID, I realized that I love to hug. Like I'm a hugger, I'm a huggy boo.
Yeah.
So I think as I've grown, I've also recognized that I'm not limited to I'm lots of love languages, and sometimes I'm a particular one to a particular person. So I'm multi-loveite.
And you know what? The way
But
you
there's,
show
but
love,
everybody kind of is, you know, but there's always like a leading one.
Tell me
Yeah.
about the quiz.
the
I'm
way
not
that
going to
you
the
show
quiz and
love
send it
is
to
not
you.
necessarily how you receive love either. How you
Yeah.
give love is
No,
very
it's most of the times it's not, and that's where relationships get into problems, because you are probably giving off the love language that works for you, and that's not, maybe your person likes gifts.
Correct.
And you're just keep saying, babe,
Exactly.
you're the best, you're amazing, this is fantastic, and he's just like, yeah, but give me a present now.
But yeah,
Yeah.
present now.
But I'll
Yes.
also
And you know
admit
what?
something
Love
to you.
language
You
can
see,
evolve
greeting
as
cards.
well.
You see, greeting
Huh?
cards. I don't like greeting cards. Whenever I get a present with greeting cards, I'm like blah 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 blah. I don't know. Like I don't
And the
get.
thing
I
is,
don't. I'm not a
everything
greeting
coming
card
more than the
person.
present.
But like a WhatsApp message with the person in a line or just I love you means so much more to me than a greeting card. So you know when people get a greeting card and they're waiting on you to read it, sometimes me I shake it. Hear me the money in the area,
And the love language can actually change over time. The way, you know,
As
the
you, I
love
think
language.
as you mature as well, yeah, for
Yep.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I was telling my son's older brother last year that he and his friends need to read it. Now at this age, I said it will save you a lot of heartache.
Yes.
Understand yourself and try and figure out what your little girlfriend's love languages are.
Jan said that she needs
I
to
always
get the
send
quiz.
it a quiz too.
We
Yes,
can actually
I'll
send
send
it
it.
out in our newsletter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Yendi. Best advice you have received about money?
Oh, I actually won't even hesitate on this one. Clear your credit card, don't carry debt.
Oh, clear your credit card, don't carry
Don't
debt.
carry debt.
Meaning, so not a debt in like a car note or a mortgage, but the credit card debt. Clear the credit card as much as you can. Spend what is manageable. Spend what you know you can cover from your debit account. Don't carry credit card debt. I live by that. Live by it.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that has served me the most in financial management.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the banks wouldn't tell you that.
Oh boy. All right. Best advice you have received about life?
It's to be lived. I think, as I said in the beginning, too many people are living and not alive. I think you have to live with fire, with fervor, with passion, with excitement. Yes, you're going to have off days and down days, but if you think about the fact that, you know, your school age, so from age 4 to 18, you're definitely in school, or so in some cases in Jamaica, 4 to 15 or 16. And then let's say if you do tertiary, you probably come out at about 21, 24, depending on the level of tertiary, maybe 27, 28, depending on what you're studying. And then you go straight into a career and a profession because you're trying to clear the student loans, or you're trying to, you know, they got this thing that they say you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to, you know, make your money, you come out to your parents' house, you pay your rent, and then you're saving so you can buy a house, and you get your car, and you're doing all of these things and you're following the structure. And then you retire at 70 if you make it. And then what quality of life can you have at 70? So to me, don't save living your life for retirement. Live while you're living. So take the times that you need. Take the downtimes. Take the weekends with your girlfriends. Once a quarter, plan with your girlfriends that you're going to have a girls' weekend. Once a quarter, plan with your partner that we're going to do something for us. That's not the date night that needs to happen once a week. And the date night can be popcorn and a movie on the living room. We're not talking about things that are not budget friendly here. But even if it means once a quarter on a drive, go up a Cafe Blue or Ice Cafe or sorry, Cafe, or you do something out of the ordinary. Or if it means that you drive go Port Royal and throw a stone and look on plane and feel breeze. You understand? But it must be a dedicated time, and it needs to be a line item, what you need to do to feel alive and live. So the same way, you know, say this amount for the light bill, this amount for the water rate, this amount for the internet, this amount goes to my recreation that I'm going to do, whether it's once a month, whether it's every other week, whether it's once a quarter. That is literally how I save for travel, because travel makes me feel alive. And so every paycheck, this come out, this come out, this come out, and even if it's $20, it's gonna be the $20 because I'm going to treat it as something of importance. Just like how they will cut off your light, you are cutting off a lifeline to your life if you don't feed the thing that makes you live and feel alive. So if you're afraid for them cut off your life, don't cut off the own happiness and joy in your life. Don't do it.
Wow. I love that.
The things that make you happy.
I love that. And
can't wait for retirement. You have to live while you have life.
While you're alive.
Yes. Yeah. You know how many people don't make it to 70?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Score and 10 is now not common. It's no longer common.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about 17. Some people don't even make it to 40 at this stage. You know? And especially at a time like now when the entire world has had to pause and think about what is important. You know, our health is important, the people that we love, doing things that actually matter to us.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow is not promised.
It's not. It's not. Let me tell you something. If it means say me and the sardine them again, watch me. If it means I eat sardine for breakfast and dinner, so might have to skip lunch and just have a little broth. And you're not gonna drop down. You're still nourished, and you're going to feel good because you know, say you're putting yourself first. You can't put you on the back burner. You can't.
Yeah.
What kind of qualities of life are you living? And then what are you saying to yourself? What are you subconsciously saying to yourself about yourself?
Yeah.
You have to be a priority for you. You have to. Oh my God, I feel like that should be in the book too.
So, what a night. It's been almost 2 hours and we would never. It feels like we've been here for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so much, Catherine. Why would you take so long?
Listen, this is it. This is the word that sums up tonight. Right? Because it was just gem after gem and just so many profound statements that connected with your heart, with your soul. It wasn't even, so a lot of our focus, throughout Emerge has been very business oriented and life lessons, but today literally spoke to our soul.
Yeah.
And so thank you for that.
And I think people got to see almost like a BTS of Yendi.
Yeah.
Right? So this is Yendi.
To me that you guys know.
Yeah.
So I thought that was nice too, because as we discussed in the beginning, it's one thing to see you and you're doing all these amazing things and your trajectory has been awesome, but people don't know all the things behind the scenes, all the things you've been through raising, Izzy, the stories about your mother, that's very impactful, and just even the journey with your hair and what people's expectations are and feeling that you let down everybody when you didn't.
Yeah.
I know I didn't. I look at her, I look at the light that comes from her, and I don't even ask that question or wonder anymore.
Yeah.
I don't wonder.
And if nothing else, everybody has to take away from tonight that we have to be intentional about everything. We have to be intentional about living. We have to be intentional about loving. You know, we have to be intentional about the way that we interact and respond to people.
Yes.
Everybody, you know, especially in Jamaica, we have this notion that, oh, she just woke up this morning and looked good. So, or she just woke up this morning and became a celebrity overnight. And they don't realize how much work goes into every single thing that you do. Odyssey by Yendi is actually your work, your effort, your blood, sweat, and tears. You know, who would have know that with Odyssey with Yendi that you are there setting up sets, like buying snacks, feeding people. No, them
Can't even
things
do my
they just
nails.
show up.
Can't even do my nails.
You just show up and appear on set and everything is good.
Well, Catherine, you know what I remembered when she was talking is that I remembered, I think the first time I really got to have a conversation with Yendi was at a Dream Weekend many, many moons ago. And she was preparing for one of these pageants and she was not eating anything. And we were eating all the good branded and the grilled food. And Yendi could just smell it because she was not eating anything. And I was just like, wow. That's amazing.
I mean,
chose to do a cleanse. That
she was doing a cleanse, yes, I remember. And we were just like, at the all-inclusive hotel? Nope.
And I never touched not even one of the onion or K-pop on the salmon. Nothing.
And I will be the first to say that I badmine her every time I see her in a swimsuit. But the reality is that I will never do the work that she does to look like that. I just won't do it because I'm not that disciplined.
Right. So no, you are, Catherine. No, words sound power. You are. Right. You haven't tapped into that aspect as yet, but you are.
Okay.
It's not a must that you need to exercise. That's it. It's not
actually,
a must.
Exercise is not a problem for me. It's a diet.
Okay, but so we're gonna work on that. So you're gonna go on a limit, not a diet.
Catherine, hold on for one more second, please. Since Gabby is online now, I just want to clarify who those things are for.
Oh no, it has gotten into trouble already because Auntie Jen, Tracy, everybody's already calling me to ask where is there.
Oh, I'm coming at this. Oh, I'm reaching to this.
Yeah, so I can't.
Gabby, my sister, my darling sister from all the way in America, send me some liquor. So I should send something for me. For me. You're not getting any. You're not getting any.
So Yendi, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We had a wonderful time.
Gabby, before we go though, Yendi, this has been an amazing experience, I think, for all of us. Everybody watching, everybody that will watch. And I just want to say that I am praying coverage over your life from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, that everything that you touch will be blessed and the doors will be open for you, because I know you will always reach back and pull other people through. I pray that you will always have the strength, the wisdom, and all the resources that you need to raise your daughter to be an amazing woman. And I know that Derma is looking down at you and she is so, so, so proud of you. I pray that your barns will always be filled to overflowing, that you can continue tithing and just sharing of yourself and all that you earn. It is a beautiful thing to see God in you. And I hope that wherever you go, lives will be impacted as you continue to disciple. As you said, obedience is harder than sacrifice. And I know the angels are applauding the way that you have been so open with your faith. And I know tonight you have touched many, many lives. So I just pray tremendous, you know, the kind of success that's scary that you have to ask yourself, I need this, I need this. Yeah. And I pray all the desires of your heart will be met, and that the Lord knows your partner, you know your partner, and that you will have an amazing life of companionship, throw foot over, hug up, because you deserve happiness.
That's Coochie, Rochelle. That's our favorite line.
Yes,
Thank you, Rochelle. I receive it Priscilla, thank you so much in Jesus' name. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. And I just want to clarify, the brownies are actually for me. So you guys can stop arguing.
Oh, Yendi, get into the brownies. After Rochelle, just give that nice anointment, right? How
You never play against bad mind, Rochelle. You never play against greed.
how Yendi get into the brownie discussion?
No, it's not bad mind or greed. It's not bad mind or greed at all. I just want you guys to stop arguing over something that's actually not yours. It's not kind of peace. I'm restoring harmony.
What I will say is that they are currently at my residence. That's all I will say.
Remember,
look outside your door, Catherine. Look outside the door. Ladies, thank you so much. It's such a lovely space. Thank you so much. Honestly, I appreciate what you guys are doing. I think what you're doing is beautiful and on time. And I appreciate so much that this platform sans me, just what you three are doing, the calling that you guys have responded to. I think it's absolutely beautiful and it will stand the test of time. This is legacy work. This is generational blessing. You know, this is information that will be handed down. So thank you so much for allowing me to share in the greatness that you guys are doing. I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you.
Thank you, Yendi.
So before you go there, you need to tell us one more time where people can find you, where people can buy Odyssey.
Where do you watch Odyssey on these 35 different countries? Odyssey with Yendi is not showing in 35 different countries. The people them from the countries are here. They want to know how to watch it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Rochelle. So since you're forcing me to address my syndication again, let me just take the opportunity to share. Hold on, I'm going into infomercial mode. 1 second. Odyssey by Yendi can be found on www.odysseybyyendi.com. That is for your apparel. That includes a wide range of shirts and mugs and houseware items. Name it, we've got it, including slippers. Walk by faith, not by sight. See what I did there? Good. Stay with me. Also, if you're in Jamaica, that is YAD, not abroad, but YAD. Please send a direct message to Odyssey by Yendi on Instagram. So in front of that would be an @ sign. So at Odyssey by Yendi. Send a DM, slide in them DMs. I know you might like to. These DMs are slide on in there. Back clean up, get on in and place that order. Odyssey with Yendi. This is where I sit and discuss people's journey, their untold journey. Can be seen on Scene TV, see what I did there? Or you can catch it on Catch 2. This is if you live in America or England or Canada or any of the 32 Caribbean islands that is available on those networks. Scene TV, Catch 2. But not to worry now, if you missed it there, catch it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Yendi Phillips. Just Google me and you will find it. And then you can binge watch and catch up with the journey. Because guess what? Life nice, so just come do it with me. And also follow me on Instagram at Yendizzle. Oh, shizzle, my nizzle, Tuesday. Don't put one, that's not me. YENDIZZLE. Just follow me.
Oh, I would stand, but I have on shorts. Right. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, nail
I think I'm going to add something to my bio tonight. Infomercial actor.
I love it. I think you should for sure.
I'm an
partner.
Lord have mercy.
What did you say?
Rochelle does the intros, you do the infos.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Nadine, you see what I'm subject to? You're mad.
Mad people.
Nadine, now we can't talk about mad people. Let's the pot can't be speaking to the kettle like this.
Absolutely, it's a fight.
Nadine.
I feel like we need to have Yendi back again. This is nice. Let's have a buzz.
Yeah, it have a buzz.
It's about buzz.
Anyway, it's way past our bedtime. So thank you. We
That's
love
why
you.
the eyelash on the fall.
And we will see you soon.
Yendi, thank you so much. We love you. Love you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Please hug up my favorite girl.
Yes. Tell Izzy we missed her.
Oh, I will.
I was kind of hoping she was gonna like pop in at some point, but I guess
no.
Where's Izzy?
Bed? No. Mommy, time to chat with the girls. You go on now. The fairies be calling you, girl. Count them sheep. Count them sheep.
All right.
I think count them sheep will work with Ajani, right? No, Ajani.
No,
count
no,
them.
You have to be like, yo, bro, them sheep, bro. What we doing?
Johnson just look at her like,
my dog. You see them sheep, my dog? You count them sheep, my dog. Yeah, that's what you do, my dog.
You don't see that these people want to start the show all over again. No, they want to not going into acting.
My God.
So on that note, part 2 coming soon.
On season 2. Oh, I'm kidding. I was about to go back to infomercial.
So thank you again so much. We love you. And we will all be supporting you and cheering you on in everything that you do.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really
love
do.
You, Jens.
Love you.
Wow. So thank you, everybody. What an amazing show. Don't forget to go back, watch all the episodes that you've missed because we're now actually in season 2. So you can go back and watch season 1.
And we're almost finished with season 2, right?
Yes, and we're almost finished with season 2. I think we have 2 more episodes or 3 more episodes in season 2. So you can go back and watch the previous episodes on our YouTube channel at Ready to Emerge. You can follow us on all our platforms at Ready to Emerge on Facebook, Instagram. For the love language test, just send us an email, readytoemergenow@gmail.com, and we will send you the test. No problem.
Although, guys,
the book of the week should be the 5 love languages.
If what?
The book of the week.
Yeah,
okay, yes.
it's great. I have it here. It's here somewhere, but I have it. I'll show it on the next episode. But it's great, and it's a very short read. But guys, I was gonna say, if you really enjoyed this episode and you think someone would benefit from hearing Yendi's conversation and her journey, please share with them. Share it in your WhatsApp group, share it on Facebook, Instagram, share it with your family, share it with your friends, whoever you think will enjoy this emerging conversation with Yendi. And as Catherine said, go look through all the emerging conversations we've done for season 1 and season 2, because there are so many gems of wisdom and knowledge in every single episode.
Yeah. So our book for this week is the 5 love languages.
My sister Gabby just said that we're not getting the vibe that Yendi just taught us. Gabby, no way. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed this episode, please comment and share with your friends. Where can we be found? We are at Ready to Emerge. That is at Ready to Emerge on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. Have you subscribed to our YouTube page? Because life begins on our YouTube page. We are the Ready to Emerge trio, and we welcome you into our world.
Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week right here on our YouTube or our Facebook at 8 o'clock. Have a great night and enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.